Hi everyone, welcome to another refurbishment video. This is an HP Elite 8300 small form factor PC. Now, as with a lot of similar models, this is a small wedge shape, sturdy top so you can put a monitor on top. On the front you've got a DVD rewriter drive. You've got 4 USB 2 ports, so they won't be obviously not as fast as USB 3, but they'll work fine for connecting mice and keyboards. It's got a microphone headphone socket, and it's also got a small front speaker. I mean, the sound's not great, but you will hear sound out of it. So looking at the top, now the thing I like about these builds, as I've said before, they're just a single flap that you lift up and the top of the case lifts off to get inside, which I'll show you in a minute. So moving this around to the back, from left to right we've got the expansion port slots, and that's the graphics card just there. It's got DVI and DisplayPort output. Now if you haven't got a DisplayPort connection on your monitor, you can actually get cables that have DisplayPorts plug in there, and it's got a VGA on the end. Now I believe also you can get DisplayPort to HDMI converters as well if you want to use that sort of cable. It's got Ethernet, it's got USB 2 ports there, it's got VGA output from the motherboard, but that's not needed because it's got the graphics card, keyboard and mouse, headphone and microphone sockets as well. And for cooling we've got that's the output from the power supply, and that's the output grill from the CPU shroud, which I'll show you in a minute when I get the case open. Now these machines are designed to work long hours in offices, so, and that graphics card is pretty low powered as well, not in performance but in power usage, so I don't think cooling's much of an issue really with this. So I'll get the case off, so just lift up that flap like that, pulls away. Now looking inside, most of the space is taken up by this DVD-ROM drive there, DVD writer drive. I've put the solid state drive down there, and there's a mechanical drive below this, below the DVD writer. That's the CPU cooler and fan. That's a shroud that directs all the warm air through the front grille. I actually said that was the outlet for the CPU. It is on some models, but on this one the shroud directs the heat through the front. That's the graphics card. It's got 2 gig. It's got 2 4 gig RAM sticks, making 8 gig in total. That runs at 1600 megahertz, and that's the fastest speed that this motherboard will take. There's actually 4 slots there, but always use RAM sticks with the same amount of memory, so it runs properly in dual channel. That's the graphics card slot there. That's the power supply, and as with all these cases, to get to the components there's just green flaps that you pull up and lift away. Even the front panel's got those tabs there, look. Same with the DVD writer drive and the power supply, and that comes out. And I gave the motherboard a clean using the vacuum cleaner, getting as close as possible to get the majority of the dust out, and then I used a small air blower and isopropyl alcohol just to give the motherboard a clean up. Replace the CMOS battery because some of those are getting on a bit now. Right, so the full spec is Intel i5 3470, which is socket 1155, 60 gig SSD drive for Windows and tools, 500 gig mechanical drive for storage and programs, 8 gig of DDR3 RAM, 1600 megahertz, 2 sticks of 4 gig, so it runs in dual channel, and the graphics card is an AMD R5 R5 340X, which has got 2 gig of VRAM. Now, because prices of graphic cards are all over the place at the moment, which means that prices are high, and also that power supply is quite low wattage, you are limited as to what cards you can fit in there, and they have to be low profile, and they're rare cards anyway. So to keep within budget, that's probably the best card that I could get. Right, so what I'm going to do is start up this machine and just run some benchmarks and a few games and just see how it performs, and that will be in the next video.